All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off. Welcome everybody to the Dream Odyssey by Dusk listening party. The album, as of about 5 minutes ago, is released on all streaming platforms. You can find it under Dream Odyssey by Dusk and then the ellipses, the three dots. It's an album that is pretty much 100% me. For a little bit of information about it, it is 7 tracks long, about 20 minutes, 20 and some change, and consists of some work that I've been putting together over the last little bit over a year. I'm really proud of how it turned out. The album has themes of nature, themes of space, and themes of, well, obviously, as the name suggests, dreams. We already did one listening party in March 1st. That was for the other album that I got to work on and release in the last 2 months of A Bittersweet Eureka by the Friend Group. Check that out if you haven't already. But today is all about Dream Odyssey. So how this is going to work is pretty much it's a little bit short of an album, 7 tracks. So what I'm going to do is introduce each track and then maybe offer, after each listening of each song, maybe offer a few comments about it. And then at the end, we'll kind of go through and I'll talk about what went into not only making this listening party, but also making this album, because there's obviously quite a bit of man hours put into it. So I'm really happy to put this out, and I hope you all enjoy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start listening to the stuff. So what I'm going to do, very similar to the Minecraft live stream, but here I've got a projector with some visuals on it. I'm going to start playing each song and then drop out and then come back in to transition each song. So let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you all for joining me. I really hope you enjoy. This is S'mores at Jacobs Creek.
As the sun sinks close to the horizon, its light passes through more atmosphere. It seems to increase in size, and its light takes on a warm red hue. Then it's suddenly over. It's the beginning of dusk, and the world is once again lit by the soft leftover light reflected from the clouds and sky.
All right, so that was the first track, S'mores at Jacob's Creek. Something interesting about that song is the not the intro piano instrumental, but the everything following it originally started off as a lo-fi song, and that was just experimenting around with, and I accidentally made that super slow guitar strum that really makes the most of the core of the music for the rest of the song. And I wanted to formulate something around it, and while I was just playing around, made a whole bunch of junk, but then ended up just jamming out that piano lead that is now the introduction instrumental to not only this song, but also the album. All right, so coming up next is track 2, Heaven.
Shapeless form, love what's behind. Yellow ethereal, fill my mind, fill my room, and tell me what it means to perforate my bind and percolate my dreams. I can't stand the thoughts of standing alone again. Tell me where, tell me what time our journey ends. What time does it end? I dreamt I was opened, a pain in my ribs, a cosmic explosion, and though I was split, I never felt broken, more so intertwined. For lack of approachment, I'll shun the sunshine. Shapeless form, love what's behind. Yellow ethereal, fill my mind, fill my room, and tell me what it means to perforate my bind and percolate my dreams.
All right, so that was track 2, Heaven. Up next are tracks 3, Super Smiley Face, and track 4, Black Box. Now, these two songs I really think work best together. They've got a really excellent transition, I think. So we're going to listen to them back to back, and then after track 4, Black Box, I will come back in and offer some commentary. Last night, I dreamt that I died. I was in an elevator and the cable snapped. And the power was disconnected as well, so I was just falling in a pitch black box. It must have been a really tall building because I had a lot of time to think as I fell. And as I thought, one image came to mind. It was either a juniper tree or a bonsai tree. Actually, it was probably a bonsai because the leaves were immaculately groomed. And from that image, I knew that I would die satisfied with my, albeit short, life. And then I woke up. All right, so those were tracks 3, Super Smiley Face, and track 4, Black Box. Now, something that is pretty interesting about number 3 is that it is pretty much every sound on that song, excluding the drums, were from a canceled in the pilot episode weird 70s sci-fi TV show. Oh, and I do also have a hidden vocal part in that song as well. So pretty much all of the sounds came from those 3 places. And the next track, track 4, Black Box, is actually a verbatim retelling of a real dream that I had. And I wanted to record the kind of story of it, and then I also ended up writing a song for it. And the transition between track 3 and track 4 worked so well that I initially changed my mind from just scrapping track 3, Super Smiley Face, altogether. It's a little bit of a funny song. But they work so well together that I decided to include it on the album. So coming up next is track 5, Oxytocin.
Oxytocin in my mind. I'm lost in thought, our eyes entwined with oxytocin in my mind. In my head, there's nothing to stop me from speaking. If I could say the words, you would leave it with me. But here we are, silent and struggling. The problem remains, the problem is me. Oxytocin in my mind. I'm lost in thought, our eyes entwined with oxytocin in my mind. Isolation is an angel for me to fight. When I hold you near, it's a vacation from my mind. Oxytocin in my mind. I'm lost in thought, our eyes entwined with oxytocin in my mind. And I don't know when I'll be alright. I close my eyes, I see. I close my eyes, I see. I close my eyes,
All right, so that was track 5, Oxytocin. Coming up next is the title track of the album, Dream Odyssey. So this is track 6, Dream Odyssey, which the album takes its name from.
They must be destroyed. Destroy without hesitation. Destroy without conscience. Destroy without thought.
I was taken from that world as a child and teleported here. Was that necessary?
naturally prone to rumination on a stay-at-home vacation that was far too long. I stripped of all my ostentation, set westward navigation a sun, lose myself like a daydream.
Remember, you were given 20 years. What you have done in that time is not sufficient. And remember, that is pride. Remember, that is arrogance. Remember, and remember, that is compassion. That is compassion.
Modernity, despite in my estuary apparency, I held respite in both Brooks and Brine. I never found delight in my spotty chronology, an intrinsic odyssey that was lost in time. Oh, I was so far away, might fly away on a sunbeam, lose myself like a daydream. Oh, I was so far away, might fly away on a sunbeam, lose myself like a daydream.
Enough. Your mind has been cleansed of all false loyalties. The moment has come for you to return to earth. It was my failure, not his.
Standing here on that path that I had lost, I looked back, you were already gone. Standing here on that path that I had lost, I looked back, you were already gone. Standing here on that path that I had lost, I looked back, you were already gone.
All right, so that was track 6, Dream Odyssey. Now, that one actually probably took the least amount of time to fully write. As any other song on the album, it took probably 3 days because it just flowed pretty quickly with the ideas, which was a very rare relief. But that song actually derived its name from the album, not vice versa. So I retroactively named the song after the album after I realized that it was kind of a microcosm of the album as a whole. Once again, the themes of the album are nature, space, and dreams. So this song I found has that drony loops of these instruments that are already pretty surreal in their nature. And then you have the lyrics be about a nautical adventure, very similar to the actual original Grecian Odyssey. And then you have these space sci-fi samples thrown in there that are very similar to the Space Odyssey, the other well-known Odyssey. So you have that nature Odyssey and Space Odyssey combined together with these surreal instrumentals, and it really I think closely describes the album as a whole. So up next is the final song on the album. This is the most recently finished one, titled Moonset. All right, so that was the very last track on the album, track 7, Moonset. So something interesting is that the end of that song is actually uh, the I should specify the outro to that song where the cymbals start going crazy and silly. At the end is actually originally most of the music there is taken from another song that didn't quite make it onto the album. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even remove the original bass guitars that were in the unreleased song, but I just EQ'd them out. And every once in a while, they kind of just bleed into the chords and guitar loop of Moonset. And it ends up sounding really weird and kind of, once again, has that surreal quality where you're like, did I really just hear that strange muddy thing in the background? I'm not really sure. It kind of confuses it in a way that I think is really interesting. So that was the entire album. I really think that the album as a whole ended up as a really good product. I kind of, when I was making it, I kept to the philosophy of get in and get out in as few repetitive loops as possible. I'm thinking every time the listener hears something new, it kind of keeps them interested. So a lot of these songs were cut short or rewritten or optimized in a really weird way. Or some songs actually were just completely cut and didn't even make it onto the album to keep it from getting a little too repetitive or stale in a way. Pretty much every song has some rewritten quality to it, excluding the, once again, the title track, Dream Odyssey. But the first song, S'mores at Jacob's Creek, really has a whole song that got scrapped, written before it, and that pattern kind of follows where track 2, Heaven, had lyrics rewritten completely over again to make something that I think turned out way better and far more interesting. So a lot of these things are kind of iterative, and you see from my perspective, you get to see the original products kind of bleed into as sort of lyrical fossils or musical fossils into the actual finished song. Those same ideas kind of persist through it, but it's more like a refining technique. I think it's really cool. Pretty much, yeah, Dream Odyssey was the only one that didn't get rewritten. It kind of flowed straight through. I was working on a different song and kind of stumbled upon it and kind of pulled on this musical thread and ended up there pretty quickly, which was interesting. I'd also like to say a few things about the actual making of this listening party, because if you had asked me what I was planning for this event this morning, I couldn't have given you an idea. I came up with all of this pretty much last minute, almost fleshed out the idea as I announced it. I had to learn a few new things like live streaming to Instagram, which is really weird when you're I have to do a lot of different inputs here. So that works better on a computer than a phone. I had to learn how to stream from my computer to Instagram, which was a pretty cool new technique. Additionally, the introduction sound effects where we were kind of idling before we actually got started. I came up with that idea about 2 minutes before the listening party was scheduled to start and had to go and dig out that file from one of my old musical mixdowns because I used that cricket sound not only on track 1 but also on track 7. So the intro track and the outro track both use that same cricket sound effect. So I had that saved already and I had to quickly start it up. And I thought that was really cool that worked out as well. This live stream as a whole definitely had way less technical difficulties than the last live stream, which I guess shows that I'm improving at this live format. Um, but it's almost kind of miraculous because I had the odds stacked against me with having to pick up and learn all of these new kind of techniques uh, today in the scope of 4 or 5 or 6 hours. Um, so that was pretty cool and really a relief. So I'd really like to say thank you to, on the musical side, Jake and Cody, who really kind of were almost backboards for me to bounce musical ideas into, being quickly available to kind of just spit out an idea and get uh, affirmation or constructive criticism, which was really good. A lot of the songs got refined in that process I was speaking about earlier through their kind of assist there. So that was really helpful. Although they didn't provide the instrumentation, they did provide maybe something more important, reinforcement on the idea side. So that was really great. As well as my dad, who said, nah, you got this later today. You're going to do a great job on whatever it is you figure out to do. Because honestly, it was kind of like an impossible mountain ahead of me, which I had just finished hiking up for the kind of nature aspect of this album again. But he said, nah, you got it. And I just kind of, with a little bit of pressure, which usually doesn't foster creativity in the same way that freedom does, um, was able to come up with this idea. So I'm really thankful for that. Another thing that I'm very thankful for is everyone that actually showed up to this live event, by the way. It's 12:42 a.m. right now, and this is a kind of a really important hour of the day, and you chose to spend it here. So thank you for doing that, and I really hope you enjoyed the album. If you have any questions, that would be fine, but I don't anticipate any because I think I've been really maybe overly verbose so far. Additionally, this will also be available on YouTube. So thank you to everybody who checked in on YouTube for, not only coming here and spending that time in your day, but also supporting the YouTube channel as not only something for current time, but almost something for posterity as well. So thank you for that. And I think that's all of my thank yous. I really enjoyed this album. I think it is a good kind of conclusion to the kind of paradigm in music creation that I'm in right now, and creation as a whole. So I'm really happy to continue refining my skills and kind of finding my style pathway as well. So yeah, I guess we will wrap it up here. Once again, thank you all so much for joining me on this this dream odyssey. What is this? Some kind of Suicide Squad?